Hello and welcome to the Olympia Conference Centre in West London. We're here at the inaugural Dubai Property Show. Now, as you know, London has long been a property hotspot for investors from around the world. Now, a Dubai-based company called Sumansa Exhibitions is bringing Dubai to London to attract the UK's property investors. So, if you're looking for a property, a villa next to one of Dubai's award-winning golf courses, a penthouse in the sky, or even your own island out in the Arabian Gulf, this is the place to be this weekend. I caught up with the president of Sumansa Exhibitions, Mr. Sunil Jaiswal, a little bit earlier. We're here at London Olympia with Mr. Sunil Jaiswal, president of Sumansa Exhibitions, who's put together this magnificent exhibition, the Dubai Property Show 2015, the inaugural Dubai Property Show. Thank you so much for speaking to us. The first thing that strikes me is you're in one of the world's great cities, a magnet for property investors. That's a huge amount of competition, isn't it? Isn't it a bit odd to bring a Dubai property show to one of the great property investment hotspots on the planet?
Absolutely not. Obviously, there are so many places to invest around the world, and investors are investing all over the world. The world's getting smaller and smaller. We love London as an investment destination. It is a trophy destination, and that makes London a great place for Arab investors and people from Dubai to invest. In fact, there's lots of people who do invest here in Dubai. But there's a lot of people from the UK who invest in Dubai as well, because it's different. You can't compare them and say it's not an apple-to-apple comparison. Dubai's different, London's different. And so we brought the show here to really showcase what Dubai has to offer. If that turns into investment into Dubai, well and good, right? Thumbs up for that. But more importantly, it's about bringing the show here, showing what's on offer in Dubai, allowing people to make the choice or to get the knowledge in order to empower them to make the choice to say, is Dubai something they should be focused on as an investment destination?
Tell us what is excuse me, what is appealing about Dubai. It suffered a lot in 2008 after the crash. Tell us now what is so appealing about the Emirate.
For me, the most appealing thing is the forward plan. So any investor has to have a long-term vision, right? We always think about long-term investing. And what I find with investors typically over the years that I've been teaching investments is that most investors have a short-term memory. So they always focus on what happened recently. So Dubai, the forward plan, if you go and look at Dubai at the moment, some of the areas that are just developing near the Expo 2020 Center, outside of the main hub of Dubai, there's not much there right now, but there's activity happening. And if you look at the plans, the schools, the malls, the cinemas, the parks that are being developed, it's going to be amazing. But right now there's nothing there. So having a bit of vision means that the next 5 to 10 years is going to be a great place for equity growth in Dubai. And the other thing is that not only can you get great growth in Dubai, so if you buy, let's say today for £500,000, I'm pretty sure that in 3 or 4 years it will be double. There's no guarantees, of course, but that's based on what's happening in those areas, right? It's not just the market's going to go up, it's because they're investing in those areas. But at the same time of investing, let's say £500,000, you can get a fantastic rental return. That's going to give you positive cash flow. You're going to make money each month, and it's going to be good. And it's a very sophisticated market now in Dubai for rentals. So it's a great market. You get to make money in 2 ways: equity growth and the cash flow. So that's one of the reasons. And of course, in Dubai itself, there's no tax. Yeah. So that's great. You make £1 million, you get to keep £1 million. Or if you make money from rents, you get to keep it. Obviously, if you bring that money back here and you have to declare it with the inland revenue, as a Brit, you've got to pay tax probably over here. Yeah. But then that's where your accountant comes in and works out how you can be more efficient that way.
Is there a double taxation treaty between the UK and...
There's no tax in Dubai, so there's no taxation treaty.
Right. Yep. Okay. Earlier you were talking about 13% returns on residential investments, for instance. So not all of them, right? But inherently, when you're talking about property investments, it is first and foremost a long-term investment. A long-term investment equates to a slightly lower return, but a stable return. Is that accurate? I mean, the inflated, or not the inflated rates of return, but returns such as 10 to 15%. Would that kind of return not put some kind of fear in investors? I mean, it needs to be a long-term thing as opposed to a quick return thing, isn't it?
Let's talk numbers here. Let's be clear about it. So let's say you had £50,000 today, and you say, I'm going to go and invest in Dubai with my £50,000. You get a £50,000 mortgage. So you're buying a property worth £100,000. Half of that is your money. Yeah. let's say over the next 5 years being a long-term frame, it may be shorter than that, but I think 5 years, it's safe to say that property could double in value. So your £100,000 property is now worth £200,000. You've made a 100,000 gain on your 50,000 investment. So that's like a 200% return in 5 years. If you worked it out, it may be 20-30% per year. And that's not a risky investment. That's not, obviously we're assuming the market moves up. It may take 5 years, it may take 2 years, it may take 10 years. No one knows what's going to happen to the market, but that's typically what we look for as investors, is where we can leverage our money. And the great thing about Dubai is the banks know it's a secure place, it's a safe investment, and you can get 50% returns. Let's say somebody was feeling less risky. They want to put the whole £100,000. Great, you put the whole £100,000, the same thing happens, 5 years it probably doubles, well you've just doubled your money. So your rate of return is obviously exactly half of what the person who took a little bit more risk did. But 50% loan to value, I wouldn't consider risky. 90% is risky. And you can't do that in Dubai. They won't even give it 90% if you're living in Dubai. The maximum is 75% now. So the government's really kind of like controlled the market. They've done a very good job of making sure we don't see huge spikes again. We're seeing steady growth, and that's fueled by investment. Investment into the areas, developing the areas. It's not fueled by speculation. You know, because when you have speculation, investors who sell to investors who sell to investors, that's when you have a dangerous market. It can be good if you know what you're doing, but for most people that could be a dangerous market. To now, you've got safety, you've got a good vision for the future in Dubai, and if you go in there and have a long-term view, at least 5 years, I think you'll do well.
I mean, the average person who will be watching this is, a middle-class person, family, regular job with a little bit of savings, want to invest somewhere nice, plenty of sunshine, nice lifestyle, etc. So for that person, not an investor, the ordinary person on the street, what is appealing for them, and what kind of lifestyle could one expect in Dubai?
Okay, if they're going to just invest Dubai, then there's probably going to be no lifestyle because you won't be living there. No. If you want to go and live there, then it's a things change significantly. It's going to be based on how much money you can borrow, based on your job. But Dubai as a place to live is a fantastic place to live. You know, I can't say it's better than and then list places in the world. It's just different. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't like it. I went there, I loved it, so I decided to stay there, and I've been living there 9 years now, on and off, because there's so much to offer there. It's a very open place. If you think about 92% of the population are expats. That's, if 10 people are standing in a row, 9 of them are foreigners, right? And so everyone who's come to Dubai has got an open mind. Like they've said, I'm going to move my family to a new location and I'm going to make some money or learn something. So people are open. And that means you can start new things there. You can experiment with ideas. You can do things that you couldn't do other places in the world. So it's a great place to live. And there's so much going on now in Dubai. But there are also downsides to Dubai. Yeah. But, you know, so...
For instance?
For instance, there's lots of sand.
It's a cost of living?
Cost of living is expensive in Dubai. You know, there's, let's say if I was to compare, I've lived in the UK, I've lived in Dubai. So where Dubai is more expensive in terms of living, your actual housing costs are probably more expensive. But then you've got to go and pay money for schools, and schools aren't cheap in Dubai. There's no national health service in Dubai, so you've got to pay money for insurance, or if you go to the doctors. But over here, cost of living is a little lower, you know, but then guess what? You don't have to pay for an NHS, and schooling's free. You know, so it's 6 of one and half a dozen the other. Yeah. But it's an experience, and you get to really broaden your horizons, and Dubai's a hub. So from Dubai, you can travel to many, many places very, very easily. Yeah. So it's not for me to say you should come to Dubai. That's why we have the show here. Come and look at the show, get a feel for what's out there, and so you can actually make that decision. Yeah. I went to Dubai first time, I said I'm never leaving. It was just I really enjoyed it out there.
What about the competition posed by places like Doha and Abu Dhabi next door, or even Sharjah these days? What kind of competition do they pose? And what are they like in terms of investment or property?
Well, there was an advert in India once that I heard. It was for Maggi noodles, or Maggi, no, it was for Maggi tomato ketchup. Right. And they said, their line was, it's different. And that's the same thing I'm going to say to you. They're different locations, they're different benefits, there's different disadvantages. Not that Dubai is just one location. Yes, it's a good place to invest. There's lots going for it. It's a freehold place where there's no tax. So where do you find a freehold location in the world where you can buy property and there's no tax? There's not many places out there. And of course, yes, Sharjah's like that, Abu Dhabi's like that, but it's about research. I'm an investor, I've been investing since 1999. The more research I do, the better it is. And I can't invest in something if I don't know about it. Yeah. So here we're just showing Dubai, I don't think anyone's saying, look, Dubai is the best place to invest in the world, because it varies for different people. For you, it could be the worst place. For me, it could be the best place. Every one of us is different as investors. Different risk appetites, different risk profiles, different financial situations. And for me as an investor, when I teach people how to invest, number one is invest for you. Not just because I'm saying Dubai is a great place, should you go and invest in Dubai? Absolutely not. Find out if it's right for you. If it's right for you, great, good. If it's not right for you, maybe Abu Dhabi is, maybe Cyprus is, maybe Florida is, maybe India is. The world's so small today, and that's the beautiful thing, so much choice as an investor.
One final point, I know your company or organization has also organized the India Property Show in Dubai, because our audience is predominantly British Asian. What kind of investment opportunities are there in India, do you think?
First of all, I should say that the only people who can invest in India are what we call PIOs, person of Indian origins, and NRIs, non-resident Indians. And for them, there's a plethora of options available. But of course, there is tax. So now we start talking about, should you invest in Dubai or India? Well, what we have to boil it down to is an ROI equation. So what I mean is, like, I can only project forward. So if I invest in Dubai, I expect to make 10% a year over the next 5 years, let's say. If I invest in India, I might expect to make 50% over the next 5 years, but then I'll be taxed at 30%. So you have to work that out for yourself. But in India, amazing options. 1.3 billion people, that's like a juggernaut, that's like going down the tracks. You can't stop that. There was a crash in India, but it was like, okay, that's the crash. Because there was so much need for housing in India. So that's obviously not there in Dubai. Dubai is a tiny market compared to India. And India, you can't even look at the whole market and say, let's invest in India. You've got to look at a city and then go into a city. I mean, Mumbai is what, 40 million people? I mean, geez, how can you analyze that? We've got to take it down to individual area. And then, like, 1/10 of Mumbai is the UAE. So let's give it some context. So India is as big as the whole of Europe. So, like, there's just so many options for investors today. Find what works for you. That's very important. I always teach people, learn what works for you and then make your decision. Learn what type of person you are. Are you aggressive, non-aggressive? Do you like management? Do you not like management? Do you like making the deal happen like I do? I just love creating a deal and then giving it to somebody else to manage because I'm terrible at management. So you find what you're good at and then you work with your profile as an investor. I'll be talking about that at the seminars I do today at the Dubai Property Show.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.